Okay, for this question on binomial, because the term that you are being asked in fraction, so some students will get a bit of mind block. Okay, so for the first part, you are specifically asked for two terms in the expansion. So what you can do is you can do your normal expansion. You can do the A plus B, the normal expansion. Okay, so you do your normal expansion. So you can choose to do your normal expansion until you get 1 over x squared, until you get 1 over x cubed. So for me, I skipped some basic because I know that the square will come here. So I skipped the basic one that doesn't give me the 1 over x squared. So this is where I will be getting my 1 over x squared and 1 over x cubed. So I just target that two expansion and I will get the two terms that I want. Okay. However, some of you instinctively, maybe you prefer or you will first think of your general formula. So if you are thinking of the general formula, it will work as well. Okay, so I will just show you. So you get the general formula first. So when you do the general formula, the risk will be, sometimes you find that it's a bit difficult to simplify the one on fraction. So you should look at it this way, minus 3 over x is the same as minus 3 times 1 over x, which is a minus 3 x minus 1. So you should have used some indices before you simplify. And then you must remember to give the power to minus 3. A lot of students, they will forget. They will somehow forget to give the power to minus 3. They will just remember about giving the power to x. Then after this, right, it's quite straightforward if you take a look that this is the coefficient because there's no x here. And then this will be the x term. Okay, so if the question is asking for 1 over x squared, you do need to remember that that is x to the power minus 2, meaning that this is this, meaning that the power is a minus 2. The power is a minus 2. So the term in the term in 1 over x squared will be 6, 2, 2, 6 minus 2 and minus 3, 2. Then you punch calculator. Okay, so that will be the term. Okay, sorry. If we wanted the term means it comes with the x. If we just wanted the coefficient, that means we'll write it without the x. Okay, so similarly, if you want it 1 over x cubed, that means you must realize that it is x to the power minus 3. So the power should be a minus 3. R is equal to 3. And then the term in 1 over x cubed will be 6, 3, 2, 6 minus 3, minus 3 cubed, x minus 3. So you work it out, you will exactly get the same answer here. Just punch calculator, and then just change it to 1 over x squared, and change it to 1 over x cubed. You will get the same answer as expansion method. Okay, so I prefer the expansion method in this case because there's only between the A and B in the question, only one of them has x. So it's quite easy to do by the expansion method. If your A and B both contain A, then I wouldn't suggest that you go for the expansion method. Okay, whatever is it, if you find it very confusing, so when do I know expansion method or the general formula method? Usually both will work. you just go for whichever comfortable for you. If you're not very confident of executing the general formula, because there's sign a fraction involved for this, then maybe you just go for the basic expansion. Okay, so there will be a reason why subsequently you are asked for this term, because in the second part you are supposed to find the value of A. Okay, so they are telling you that there are no term in 1 over x. So this piece of information, you can interpret it as the coefficient of 1 over x will be 0. So you will not be able to find the term that is 1 over x. So that is as good as the coefficient is a 0. So we are interested in this coefficient in this expansion. So this is a basic bracket that they gave us. For the expansion, I already got the 2 terms that the question mentioned in part A. So I'm just going to be using the one that I gotten in part A. So in part A, I already have the 2 terms. And how will these 2 terms be helpful in getting 1 over x? So if you think about A over x multiplied by a fraction. So A over x multiplied by a fraction, I will be able to cancel one of the x. Then if I got x squared and I cancel with something x cubed, I also will be able to cancel and eventually give me something like 1 over x. So this is exactly what I'm doing. So these 2 arrows will give me the 1 over x. Okay, and because the denominator are the same, I will just combine the numerator. And as I mentioned previously, when there is no term in 1 over x, it's as good as coefficient of 1 over x is equal to 0. So this numerator will be equal to 0, and that's how we find the A over 2. So we are just using the answer from part A. Okay, then subsequently with the value of A, your job is to return it to the expansion. So, and then now we are interested in a separate coefficient already. So this one is the no trick kind of question. So with the A, you return it back and you redo your binomial one more time. You redo the binomial in such a way that you have sufficient error to get the coefficient of x. So we gotten a 2x. So apparently I need a constant. We gotten an x squared. I will need something over x. I will need something over x so that it can be cancelled. And I'll be left with an x. So you just do your basic expansion that is sufficient for you to get the coefficient of x with the value of A that you have found.